When you first become president, one of the questions that people ask you is, what's really going on at Area 51? I think I just became the first president to ever publicly mention Area 51.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
I had people go look at the records on Area 51 to make sure there was no alien down there. I had all the Roswell papers reviewed, everything.
If you saw that there were aliens there, would you tell us?
Yeah.
You would?
I mean, if there's some huge national security thing and I can't get agreement to open them, I won't. But I do want to open them because I'm interested.
Do you believe?
I don't know. But there are enough stories out there that I don't think everybody is just sitting, in their kitchen making them up. I think that people see things. What they see, I don't know.
That certain morning, I happened to look over into the sky to the northeast, and I seen a very, very bright light up there, like a very bright star. And then I said, well, that's moving. And I just stood there and watched it as what it was doing, and it was just coming down out of the sky real slow, and no noise, just quiet, and I couldn't see no wings or nothing, just floating right through the midair up there. And I thought, well, if I don't tell nobody that I seen something go over town tonight, nobody will believe me tomorrow.
What's up, everybody? How's it going out there tonight? Hope everyone is doing well. Appreciate everybody stopping by tonight, spending your Friday night with me, Paranormal Odyssey Live. I appreciate it, guys. Got what I think is going to be a really, really fun one tonight. We are doing something different for the first time ever for me, in this show anyway. But before we get there, let's do all this good stuff. And if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button for me. I would appreciate it. Check out our website, paranormalworldproductions.com. You can check out all 3 shows over there. Brian's show, Sasquatch Odyssey, this one, and then Brian's other show, True Crime Odyssey. So show us some support over there. If you guys anyone has had an encounter with something weird, strange, spooky, you don't know what it was, and you want to talk about it, shoot me an email. Get me at wayne@paranormalworldproductions.com. Be happy to talk to you about setting something up. Also, guys, as always, you know that I'm the founder, president of Manimal Research. I'm very proud of that organization. We have the Facebook group over there. If you are not a member, I'd like to invite you to stop on by and become one. Everybody's got a Facebook, nothing to be ashamed of. So come and join our group. All right, guys. I believe I got all of that out of the way in record time, too, it looks like. I'm getting better. Talk about tonight's show a little bit. I interviewed this gentleman, Mr. Daniel Jackson, a couple weeks ago and aired his episode on the podcast, Paranormal Odyssey podcast. Got some pretty good reviews about it, and I stayed in contact with Daniel, and he offered to help me in any way that I needed, and he and I brainstormed a little bit and come up with this idea about maybe having a few of our listeners come on for a free reading. And he thought that was a good idea and agreed to it. So he is here tonight to do that. I do want to make it clear, Daniel does not know any of the people other than me that are going to be getting a reading tonight. He knows one of their names. I told him a name. That's it. The other participants, there's 2 other gentlemen. They don't know who the other one is. I've tried to keep it as much a secret as I could. So, we're going to see how this plays out. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring Daniel on and let him, give him a few minutes to talk about himself and what he does and and all that good stuff. The other two gentlemen are hanging out backstage. They know to just get comfortable and hang out, and then we'll bring them on one at a time for a reading. He's going to do my reading first, and then he'll do the other gentleman. But let's get him on now and give him a welcome and find out a little bit about what Daniel's got going on. Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing well. Again, having a little bit of hard time hearing you. So
Putting my face right up in here. There we go.
there you go. And audience members tonight, if you would help me keep tabs on it and shoot me a message if you're having trouble hearing Mr. Daniel. I'm not sure what the issue is with the volume, but I got mine jacked all the way up. His is up all the way, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, all that out of the way. Daniel, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. It was a beautiful day down here in Arizona, about 74 degrees. I just got back from riding my motorcycle. It's a good day.
75 degrees. You can't beat that, man. In December?
Can't beat that, right?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But you are in Arizona.
Yeah, but tomorrow it's supposed to go down into the 60s, and it's supposed to rain all day, and I have to go get a tire changed on my motorcycle, so it's not going to be fun riding through the rain, that's for sure.
Down in the 60s, you're going to have to break out your long johns?
Yeah, it's going to feel like it's cold, yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
Daniel, I told everybody a little bit about you. You are a spirit medium, and what I gathered from the last time you and I had a chat was most of these abilities didn't come to you until you hit about age 50, right?
Correct. Yeah, I've seen spirit ever since I was a kid, and my whole family did. But then, as I grew a little bit older, by the time I got into my late teens and early 20s, I was the only one who was continuing to see them. But I really never knew why I was seeing them, other than like any other person who maybe saw something. I saw them all the time. That was the thing. But I never really put two and two together. But it wasn't until right before I was turned 50, about 6 months before that they were bringing me a lot more spirit than normally than I would see. And that was, they were testing me to see if I was going to move forward and accept, this ability to not only see them, but communicate with them or push it away and then go away from it. But I chose to move forward with it. And when I did, everything changed.
Okay. Now, what exactly, and this question I'm about to ask is normally, I would imagine, what you have the hardest time explaining to people. Who is it exactly that you communicate with mainly?
Well, regular spirit does talk to me. But they just talk to me in the same way, like if you were standing at a coffee shop and people were just talking around you, or maybe someone talks to you directly, they talk about some of the same things all the time. I had a woman yesterday, I was laying in bed, and she just come up and looked at me, and she said to me, you could have a lot of blessings with inside of you. And I just looked at her and said, I already do, because I crossed spirit over. She said, oh, okay. She turned around and walked the other way. That simple. People always think, oh, maybe spirit's going to tell you some magical thing or something that's going to amaze you. But they don't. They just talk the same way that we do, because what were they at one time? The same thing we are right now. They're just people. They just don't have a body anymore. They've moved from that body into another realm. And the one that I was talking to at that moment was someone who had not crossed over into the lake, and that's what we call it, or going to heaven. She remained earthbound spirit, but she just happened to walk up to me and just start talking to me, and then she was done talking, walked away. I mean, I had an instance one time a couple of years ago. I put these blinds up in my room, my office, so I could have it nice and dark in there, so I could see more of them, because I see them during the daylight, but in a dark room, they're just prevalent. They're just right there. And she walked up and she said, hey, nice blinds, babe. And I said, oh, thanks. I put them up just so I could see you better. And I said, I can see you better. You're pretty good looking. She said, thanks. Turned around and walked away. That was it. So, I mean, they just say regular stuff. They don't say these Like people are expecting some wonderful message from the other side. They don't really talk about that stuff. They don't, because they know eventually you're going to die and then you're going to be there too. So what do they have to tell you? Not much.
Yeah, that's true. But who is it that you set yourself apart from others that do this because you can communicate with
Archangels. Yeah, with archangels. And I communicate with them for the reason that one of my abilities that they gave me is to cross spirit over into the light, because as they tell me, God wants all of his children to come home because we are all his children. Even these negative energies, they were just people too who were horrible people and just decided to stay here earthbound. And it's their decision. It's anyone's decision to cross over into the light or not. So I communicate with these, my spirit guides, but my spirit guides are just, they're archangels for other reasons as well. But one of the reasons is because I cross spirit over for them, they are with me to protect me from all the negative energies, what people would think are demons and devils and stuff. They're just negative energies. There's no demons or devils. So, and spirit asks me questions all the time. So if a dog is talking to me and asking to me a question, I hear it as English. If anyone, I hear it as English. If it's someone who is Spanish, I hear it as English. They ask me questions. And because they're asking me questions, I need answers for them that I don't always know. So my spirit guides are there to answer those questions for me. And because these spirit can ask me questions, then I can also get questions asked by people who are living as well. And then these spirit guides I have will answer the question for me, and then I give it to them. I'm not doing a magic act. I'm not being a fortune teller or anything like that. I just describe myself as being a conduit where I get a question, I ask spirit guides, they tell me the answer, and then I pass it on to them. The only problem with that, most of all, is when someone gets the answer, they usually don't like it. And why don't they like it? Because they don't like the truth, or that answer doesn't fit into their lifestyle. That's not my problem. It's still the answer. Whether they like it or not, I can't do anything about it. And I always tell people, don't ask me a question, or try to ask it a different way, because I always say, I can't tell the truth. I can only tell the truth one way. I can't tell it 50 ways until one way suits you. So if I get the answer, that's just it. They want to blame it on me, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. The answer's not coming from me. It's coming from them. So I'm just giving the answer, and they get it all confused. And, oh, blah, 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 you're fake, and whatever,
Now, in case anyone out there missed it, when you were speaking, you said, I heard you say when dogs speak to you. So
yeah, dogs talk to me, animals talk to me.
All kind of animals speak to you.
Yeah, fish talk to me, but whenever I hear it, it comes through as English. But I also hear other beings as well, because I don't just see people. I see dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish. I see other beings from other worlds. I saw some beings about a month or so ago, and they were standing in front of me, and they were talking. I could hear them talking. I could hear what they're saying. I knew it wasn't English, because when I saw them, what they look like to me, and this is what I'm just describing from what I could see, they look like what you would call from Star Wars, the Wookiee. That's what they look like, almost like a Bigfoot. There was like 4 or 5 of them just standing there talking to each other. And then I said to them, hey, does anybody here want to cross over? Now, when I'm saying that, I'm saying it in English, but I guess they're hearing it as well. And then they looked at me and they said, no, thank you. And I said, okay. And they said, we're just having a conversation amongst ourselves. And I was like, and that's how I get it interpreted. Sounds like English to me. And I said, okay. And then I just looked somewhere else for someone else to cross over. But if they don't want to cross over, I don't have a choice in that. That's their choice. So I don't bother.
Oh, wow.
But I see all kinds of things like that all the time. And a lot of the ones that I see are hard to describe. The only way that I could really truly describe it to you is when I see some of these things, the only word that fits that would describe it would be a monster, because these are the things that we look at and associate to being a monster. But they're not a monster. It's just that's what they look like where they come from.
Okay.
Just like aliens. Aliens are just alien to our race. That's all.
Right.
But we give it a name, and that's what we associate it with. So, yeah.
Now, you made the comment last time we talked that a lot of the angels that you see kind of look like what we attribute spacemen or aliens to look like.
Yes. The ones that I see most of the time look like 8-foot praying mantises standing around me.
That's
and I
creepy
see
as
the
hell.
big head, the big bug eyes, and their arms, and little tentacles coming down, and all that stuff. And
Buddy, I'm
I've
glad
seen
it's
some,
you and not me.
yeah, I've seen some that look like birds. I see some that look like they are humanoid, but not human. Now, I only know of one of my guides who actually was human. And when I see her name is Helen. She has this thing around her face. It looks like I don't know, like she's European or something, like a mask type of thing. And it looks like there's little diamonds in it, but I can see her eyes. And then when I asked her about where she came, my wife and I were sitting watching TV one time about something on History Channel, and it showed hieroglyphics and Egyptians and all that. And when they showed that, I started getting touches all over my face, and I was like, what is going on? And then she touched me where she does, and then I said, I pointed to the TV. I said, is that what you are? And then she touched me, yes, on my face. And I said, so you were an Egyptian princess? And then she said, yes. And then I heard an amount. I heard 5,000 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay. But she's the only one I've ever seen that looks human. Everyone else, they do not look human. They're just not. But what they also are not were men with wings and shields and swords, and they're not fighting a battle in heaven and all that crap that people want to tell you what's going on, because that's bull crap.
Now, before we get started with the first reading, explain to everyone how it works. You just spoke a little bit about it. How you get your answers. What happens?
So all mediums have similar abilities, but we don't all get the same messages the same way. I know some mediums who are personal friends of mine who don't even see spirit. They just get a message within their mind. Me, I actually see spirit. But the way that it works for me, in order for me to get an answer for anyone, they actually have to ask me a direct question. I've had people come up to me and say, hey, what does spirit have for me? I don't know, because you didn't ask me a question. That would be something you would maybe ask a psychic. I'm not psychic, although I do get some messages for people, like somebody could be walking by. I was doing a show a couple of weeks ago at a mall, and a guy walked by, and I got a message that he was going to die when he was 47 years old. But I didn't tell him, because even though I'm still getting the message, I asked my guides, is it okay to tell this person? And they said no. So I just let it go. The hard part about being this is when you get those types of messages and you're not allowed, they don't want you to tell that person. You have to hold that in, and that's not always the easiest thing to do, knowing that some people around you. But, here's the thing. Here's the truth of everything. No matter what I say about anyone who's going to pass away, everyone dies. We just do. But some people don't want to die too early, or, what they call unexpectedly, or too soon, or too young, or something like that. No one dies any of that stuff. We all just die. So, yeah, I talk to them. They get me answers. But if you want an answer, you have to ask me a direct question. Otherwise,
Okay, so how do you receive the answers?
Yeah. It's got to be a direct question, and then I will get them a direct answer.
But how do you get the answers? They touch your face.
So, yeah, they either touch my face for yes and no answers. or they actually just put the thought into my mind, and then when it comes into my mind, it comes into my mind a way that I can interpret it to that person. Because some of the answers they do give me, they are not human. They don't think in human terms. Although they know about us and what we do, but we have slangs, we have all kinds of things in our language that mean different things. So they bring it in, and then as soon as they bring it in, it gets changed around in my mind, and then I put it out there.
All right, very good.
But I do say one thing when I give answers to people. When they do ask me a question, I will say this. Before you ask me a question, don't ask me a question that you really don't want the answer to. Because I'm just one of those people, I don't lie. So if you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer. And if you say to me, well, that's not what I wanted to hear, well, then don't ask the question.
Fair enough. I mean, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Try to.
Yeah. All right. You want to get started with me?
Ask away.
First thing I want to ask is when we talked before, you told me about I had someone with me. Do you see anyone with me now?
So I'm closing my eyes to see, but let me do something here. Where's that one going? I gotta ask a real quick question. I have to ask if this person's actually for you, because what I'm seeing is really super strange. Okay, that's the first time I've seen something like that with a person. So what I'm seeing, the spirit that is here is not actually here for you. Is just there. I don't know why he keeps turning his head and looking at you, though.
So there's a spirit here looking at me.
Yeah, the spirit is... I know this is going to sound really strange, but it's just what I see. It's what you and I would call a gray.
A gray.
Yeah.
What would you call a gray?
An alien gray. Like big eyes... gray. He's on your left side, and he keeps, because I can see his head, but I see these big giant eyes, no eyebrows, but just big giant eyes. So, and that's what it looks like to me. That's what I would associate it to. He's on your left hand side, right above your head, so it would be like right here, and he keeps turning his head and looking at you.
Do you get any kind of sense of what he wants?
I have no idea.
Any aggression or anything like that?
Any aggression? No aggression. Let me, I'm just being told that he keeps an eye on you. Let me ask him something else real quick, though. Oh, that's kind of strange. I was asking, I'm asking if the this being that I'm seeing is actually dead, but it's not. They're telling me he's actually alive.
Have you ever experienced that before?
With a regular person? Only one other person. Me.
You.
Yeah. Yeah, I see one on a regular basis, but he looks different than the one that I'm seeing with you. He looks, he's got a bigger head and he's got smaller, tiny eyes. And he watches me all the time. But he's like, when I look up into the stars and into the sky, I don't see the stars anymore. That went away like 3-4 years ago. So all I see is the moon and a blue-black sky. But I also see this little grouping of stars. It's 4 stars it's 1, 2, 3, and then another one over here. So it looks like a letter Y. And they tell me that there are multiple. These are ships that are multiple. A few are up in the skies, and they watch over us. They are observing us. And I see 2 of them all the time. And the one that I see is in one of those ships all the time. But he doesn't look like the one that I'm seeing behind you. He looks like, almost like that picture you had behind you, but not like that type of head. It's a little bit more round. That he's just observing you. So he's alive somewhere watching you. Which is kind of, that's kind of, I know why they're watching me, because of me being this. And I know they watch the whole human race, to see what we're doing, because that's where we came from. We didn't come from Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve and all that bullshit. We were populated here. And they were watching over us to see our progression. They know we're not doing very well. But, man, I have no idea why he's watching you. I can't.
So did he just appear when I asked you that, or?
No, I saw it when you first came on, and I was like, "What is that?" But then what I have to do is when I saw it, I have to focus in on it, and now that I'm focusing in on it, now I can see it. Strange part about it, though. Well, wait a minute, never mind.
What?
I was going to say he doesn't blink his eyes, but I saw, as soon as I was about to say that, I saw his eye close. Okay. The only thing that I can think of now is he knows that I'm talking to you, so maybe he did that as I was about to say the strange thing is, then all of a sudden he started to close his eye. So he's aware that I'm talking to you.
So he actually knows that you're
if he's talking, if he's looking at you, then he's aware that he can see me talking to you. So that's strange, man. I'm never this way, but I'm at a loss of words for that, because I don't know why. I'm not big, and the thing is I can get that type of answer, but I can't get anything more, because even the guy the one that watches me, I can't hear him. I can't get like I said, spirit talk to me, but this thing is alive, so I can't get anything off of live people.
Don't tell me I'm going to get abducted tonight, man.
Yeah, I hope not, man. Well, the abduction part, some people get, worked on, and some people don't. I've heard of other stories where people have had good experiences there, but I've heard of other people who just don't. I interviewed a woman who was on my podcast, and she said she had a good experience with that, and she had a lot of internal problems, and they told her when she would return they would fix all that, and they did. So, yeah, but I don't know. I'm at a loss for words for why he would actually be trolling around watching you. But the last time that we talked, I didn't see that, and if whatever's around, I see it. So I didn't see it then. I don't know why I'm seeing it now, but he's still there.
Wow. All right. Well,
I don't know what to tell you to do from that point. You know what you do?
I'm not in any danger.
Yeah, you're not in any danger. I am telling that you're not in any danger. You just walk around and live your life. That's all.
Okay.
Because they're going to observe us anyway, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
Just like spirit do. Like spirit do. people need to know that you don't have to go to a haunted house, or you don't have to go to a prison or something like that to find spirit. Spirit is everywhere. You wake up in the morning, you do your daily routine, shit, shower, and shave, and go to work and do your job, and maybe you don't, and then you come home and you eat some dinner and watch TV and go to sleep and do it all over again. Spirit is around us all the time, but not all spirit want to be seen, but some of them do, because they're living life uninterrupted now. So, but they're around us all the time. And are they watching everything you do? Yeah, but they don't give a crap because they don't have to do it anymore. But they are around us. But, I mean, some of them want to be seen in this. But I don't know why he is showing himself to me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you figure it out, or if he tells you anything else, let me know.
Yeah, I would, because seriously, that's strange to me. And I see a lot of strange shit. But why is he? Yeah, the thing is, why is he there with you? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, if you figure it out, let me know.
I will.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just go
Sorry,
on
Wayne.
and ask some questions then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, something that I've been wondering for a while now is, am I on the right career path?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, you're going to do okay with this. I'm asking, is there anything that you need to do differently? And I'm just keep getting no.
Okay. Now,
No, you're okay. I mean, are you going to make $1 million? Is anybody going to make $1 million doing this? No. Joe Rogan. That's about it, you know?
A question that my wife and I have right now is something that we're working toward. Well, I don't want to say it. I just, the plan my wife and I have, are we going to be able to see that through?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
As you started to say it, I kept getting yes across my face.
Okay.
Let me ask something now. But I'm getting it's going to take 3 to 4 years for that to happen.
3 to 4 years?
Yeah, closer to 4 years. For you to be set.
That's about the time frame we were thinking. We were hoping for less. Things that would have to go.
Everybody hopes for less.
Things would have to go perfect for it to be less, but
yeah,
that's about the time. We got this around the time my daughter starts school. Is what we're thinking. Starts kindergarten and she's 18 months.
Absolutely.
So she's not even 2 yet.
Yeah.
That's 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And when I say 3 or 4 years, I said 3 or 4, and that's what I felt. But then I got a touch on top of my head for closer to 4 years. Yeah, I'm getting touched again. Yes, for closer to 4 years.
I'm worried about my granddaughter. Is she going to be okay?
Oh boy, hold on. No.
No. So.
Yeah, no, and that's a definite no too, because I'm getting touched twice. I mean, usually I only get one, but when it's something.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be.
Yeah.
She's got some tests coming up, basically.
Okay, so this is the way I explain it to people. There's no such thing as good news or bad news. It's just news. It just depends upon what you do from that point. That's going to possibly change things. I mean, if you sat around all day with it, if you got some news and it was like really what we would think is bad, if you sat around all day with your thumb in your butt all day doing nothing, then it's going to get worse. But if you're going to change that and be proactive about it, because that's what you're going to do anyway, because that's the type of person you are. You don't like to sit around and just go, oh, woe is me and stuff like that. As soon as you hear something, you're on it. So, and you're going to do the same thing with him. So when this news does come, I'm not saying it's going to be. Let me see something. No, so it's not going to. It's No, I'm just checking again. So it's not going to be something that's going to kill this child. So that's the good part. But it is going to be something that's comes and goes type of thing. I've got to ask something real quick. No, so I was asking if she'll grow out of it, and they're telling me no, because sometimes they do. But they're telling me no, this isn't something she's going to grow out of. As long as you keep it in check. I mean, but there is going to have to be frequent doctor visits. So, maybe like every 3 to 6 months, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too personal and share my son's family stuff, but
yeah, no, I'm completely okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's change the tone a little bit.
Sure.
The big guy, Bigfoot. Is the government ever going to recognize them as a species?
Well, because how do I say it in this way? Okay, so the reason why we don't always see Bigfoot is because Bigfoot is not always here. In other words, Bigfoot is more of a dimensional figure. So he comes into this dimension and then goes out of this dimension. So that's why we don't see them all the time. But are they real? Yeah.
They are real.
Yeah. Yeah, we just don't see them all the time because they come into this dimension, they do whatever they're going to do around here, and then they can open up a doorway and go right through. That stuff does happen. We don't hear about it because, if we knew all this stuff, then the government wouldn't be able to control us in the ways that they control us. So
well, that is one of the beliefs. That
they don't tell the truth.
In the Bigfoot community, you've got the biological camp, which I've always been a part of, and then you've got what's called the woo, and that's the like you said, the interdimensional, and the Bigfoot is an alien, and they can cloak and disappear and all that stuff. But what you just mentioned lines up with the woo side. Yeah,
that's what I'm told, because I had a guy on my show who was a Bigfoot guy. He was a really good guy. But then after the show, I started asking some questions, and then that's what I was told.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because, we hear about sightings all the time, but no one's ever able to find out where they live. So what I keep getting told is they don't live here.
Yeah, and there's been reports of people finding a trackway, the footprints going across a snow-covered field, and then the tracks just stop.
Stops.
Yeah. How does that happen?
Right. How does that happen?
All right. So, we're already about 40 minutes into the show, and you got me all worked up. So I'm going to go ahead, and we are going to bring our, I guess it would be your second reading, but our first guest on. His name is
Who's
Lawrence.
Jordan?
What's that?
Who's Jordan?
Jordan is my wife.
You did okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's all I can say. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring Lawrence on. Lawrence, how are you doing, sir? I'm not got no sound.
Can't hear you, Lawrence.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good.
Which southern state are you from, Lawrence?
I'm in Alabama.
No kidding.
All right. Lawrence, you got any questions for Daniel?
Yeah, I got one, and it's kind of been sitting with me for a while. Um, Back in 2016, I had a really, really bad wreck, and I always tell everybody that my mom and God was with me that day, because I mean it was pretty bad. Was there somebody there with me that day when I had that wreck?
Good question.
Yeah, let me ask him something real quick. I mean, I already know the answer, but I got to ask something else. And yes, and it was actually what we would refer to as a spirit guide. But hold on something. And the spirit guide that was with you was a woman. She said she has shown herself to you to a couple times, and you have felt her presence around you. Absolutely, even after the accident, you felt that there was absolutely no way there was no absolute way in our eyes that you should have survived this, but you did. Correct?
Yes. We
she says she's around you a lot too, and shows you some signs as well that she is around you, and says that you feel her presence around you. Is that correct?
Yes.
There's no such thing as luck. Lawrence, you are here because you are not supposed to be not here. But other people do make decisions in their lives, cause accidents, and you just happen to be in the crosshairs of it. But it was just not your time to go. But that doesn't mean I'm not telling you to go run out in the middle of traffic and you're going to save your life. Don't do stupid shit like that. But I'm sure after that accident, it did make you more aware of your surroundings, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, it definitely changed the way I drive a little bit.
Well, I want to ask you a question. If it did change the way you drive, then why are you doing a video call with me right now while you're in a fucking car? Knock that shit off, Lawrence.
We are.
Are you driving right now, Lawrence?
Don't you see those cars behind him?
It looks like Lawrence has a bad reception. He's not getting everything.
Lawrence, you're still supposed to be here. Don't worry. You're going to be here for quite a long time, so don't worry about it. You're going to die an old man.
I'm going to die an old man.
Yeah, you're going to die an old man in your 80s.
I kind of like to die an old man.
Yeah, well, you're going to be 80s, probably around, well, I mean, yeah, you're not going to die, you're not going to live more than 85 years old, but you'll be, and that's pretty good, too, because who wants to be 90? Because at that point, it's going to hurt to pee, and who wants to be here for that? So nobody does, but, yeah, but around, you won't, let me ask him something. Yeah, you won't make it to your 85th birthday. Close, but you won't. But who cares, you know?
Dang, Lawrence is 84. He looks good for his age, man.
Well, he's not 84 yet.
All right, it looks like Lawrence has a bad signal. So, Lawrence, do you have another question before we let you go? Well,
nope, he's gone. There he goes.
Yeah, we lost him. He moving in a car. That's
just got into another car accident. No, I'm kidding.
Lawrence, quit streaming and driving, man. All
Yeah,
right.
my wife gets on me. Don't text when you're driving me, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but you know how long you got left.
Yeah, but
All right, so we got one more. We'll see if he's ready. He's got his camera turned off. There, it's on. His mic is unmuted. So if you're ready, we will bring Mr. Jasper on.
cool name.
Jasper, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, that's an awesome beard you got going there.
Yeah, it seems that it stays like that for some reason.
I tried to grow a beard one time, and it came down just like regular straight hair. I was like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, it was
Yeah, this
horrible.
one kind of does this. It does its own gray and black up here, so I can
Yeah,
shave.
and that looks a great combination. I mean, mine. Look at mine. I had that little spot at the top of mine. Looks like I got dirt on my lip. So yeah.
Yeah.
At least, do you have trouble trying to keep that thing clean?
No, I mess with it a lot all the time, and then every once in a time, I only trouble I have is when it grows down here and it starts curling because
Drives me insane. Yeah.
I'm natural curl for some reason.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, looks like you got a perm on your neck, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when it gets out there, it does that.
Mine would get real oily all the time, and that's why I cut it off. I was like, enough of this shit, because I got a ton of food stuck in it all the time. It doesn't look very good, attractive.
Right.
I'm not lucky like you and Wayne. I had a fucked up beard, so yeah, I get it.
Don't let me interrupt, guys.
Sorry, we're having a little bro conversation here.
Yeah. All right, Jasper, you got any questions for Mr. Daniel? I'm sure you do. You wouldn't be here. You ask away, and I'm going to turn my camera off for this one. And
He is asking me. He is about to ask me a truthful question too, because he is a believer.
I'm gonna say, do they see?
Hold on just a second, Jasper. What is that cracking? That crackling?
Is
Y'all
it
hear
popcorn? I love popcorn.
You don't hear it?
Jasper, spirits see everything that you're doing. Everything. So when spirit are around you, if you have those who have passed away and you want to know if they are looking down on you or if they're looking down upon you and your children or family members, they absolutely are. But here's the thing about it. Heaven's not 3,000 miles up in the sky. It's right next to you. It's just not everybody could see it. But here's the thing about if you could see it. If you could see it, it'd be like a glass wall. And you would see them on the other side of you. What would you be doing if you could see them? You'd be banging on that wall trying to get their attention. What would you not be doing? You would not be living the life that you are supposed to be doing. That's why. So that's why we're not able to always get in touch with them. But they are around us all the time. But at this moment now, they're living a life that's uninterrupted. They don't have to pay bills anymore. They don't break bones. They don't get hurt. But so if you're wondering if they're around you and watching you, absolutely. But the strange part about that is what they're actually doing is waiting for you to walk through that door. In other words, I don't want to say it in this way, but it is the way it is. They're waiting for you to die because it's not really dying. All it is your body is dying. What they're doing is waiting for you to come home. That's what they want. But what they also want you to do is they don't want you to grieve throughout your entire life that they are gone, because they are not meant to be here anymore. You are. And the reason you are meant to be here is because you are here to fulfill a purpose. And I'm going to tell you exactly what your purpose is. If it ever bothers you about this, am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right places? Am I on the correct path? The purpose is very simple. You're not here to be a doctor or a lawyer. You don't have to be a teacher to fulfill your purpose. You're going to fill it by doing one thing, being human. That's it, because God made it simple for everyone. If you ever come across anybody who says, oh, my purpose is going to be this wonderful thing, they are full of shit, okay? Because that's all about their ego, okay? Your purpose here is we are here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not just because we can, but because we should. And that's all you have to do. So when people are going to come in contact with you, and that they may come up to you and say, excuse me, sir, I'm lost. It's up to you to use your free will to decide whether or not you're going to do that or not. And if you do that, great. But if you're one of those people who walks around and says, oh, no, screw people, I'm going to do this, whatever I want to do and stuff like that, guess who has to come back again? That person. We do keep coming back over and over and over again. And we do fulfill our purpose throughout our different lives that we have. But Spirit, God, angels, they want us to do it a certain amount so that we can learn something from that, and we know what it really means to do that. But are you on the correct path? Absolutely. Are you one of those people who helps people when you can? Absolutely. And let me ask him something real quick. This is your last time. You're not coming back here again. So what that means for you is when you when you do pass away, you're going to rise up out of your body. You're going to see your body go, oh, don't need that anymore. Take a step to the left. You're going to see a light turn on. Walk the hell in. You've done it a bunch of times already. 27 other times because you're on life number 28. Just see that light, walk in. They're going to go over your life with you. No such thing as judgment. And they're going to tell you about all the things you were supposed to do and you did, but this time you got it done. So this time, when you get home this time, they're going to ask you if you want to come back. You're going to tell them no. I don't want you to have to come back again, because the next life that you would have to come back again would be 80 years after you pass away. And this place is not going to be a nice place. It's going to look like Mad Max. So don't come here. So when you just say no, and then you go home and you'll get to be with your family and everyone you've ever known who's ever passed away. But here's the thing about that. When you get there, you don't just meet up with the 200 or 300 people you met here in your lifetime. When you get there, you know everybody. And everybody is everybody, because that's where we originally come from. We don't come from here. We are born here into this body only for one reason, so that the soul can learn everything about being here. But again, fulfilling that purpose. You go back home, that's where you came from. You came from the original family, the soul family. You could walk right up to Jesus Christ because he's your brother. That's why, because we're all related to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but this is your last time, man. So you could actually go through the rest of your life right now and not have to help a single freaking person the rest of your life, and it wouldn't matter. You would still go home, and you would get to stay home. Beyond that, what was your real question?
Well, that was one of the questions. That was probably the second one. The one main one probably would be, I've always had dreams that actually show something happening in ahead, and I don't know it until kind of like what they say, deja vu. And it's usually I'll change. It's something. The outcome changes or something. I don't know what that is. Is that something that is someone telling me something, or is that something that's been built?
Yeah, it's because you're clairvoyant.
Okay.
Look it up. So Google that. Let me ask him something real quick. Okay, so it doesn't make you a medium, but it does make you clairvoyant. The thing about that is it's your choice. They are bringing you a message, and if you were to move forward with that, you could possibly help some people with messages. And the reason they are bringing you messages because they want you to be able to help them. and help them in a way that could avoid something that would happen to them later.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about that is, once you start doing that, you're going to have some of the same problems that I have. People are going to call you a witch. People are going to say you're talking to demons and devils. It's going to bring on a responsibility that possibly maybe you don't want. Once you cross that line, then that's it. And unfortunately, I'm going to say it in this type of way. You're going to understand exactly what I mean. It would be like coming out, if you were gay and you were coming out of the closet. Once you address people as being and telling them what you are and what you do, they're always going to look at you that way. Can you handle that? And do you want to handle that? Because as I always tell it, it's kind of like the Spider-Man movie. With great power comes great responsibility. They're always going to look at you that way and go, oh, well, that guy can help you. And then if you give them an answer and then it doesn't quite turn out the way that you said it was, not by your fault, but by the person who just got the answer and decided to manipulate it a little bit, you know who they're going to blame? You. They're not going to blame themselves. They're going to blame you. And they do it all the time. I have people who come to me and say, oh, Daniel, you gave me this answer and it didn't turn out the right way. But then me, being me, go, oh, let me ask a question. And I go, oh, yeah, that's because you manipulated a little bit because you tried to make it a little bit better than it was. And they go, oh, yeah, well, I did do that. And I go, yeah. And those are just people who just like to blame everybody for their own problems and they don't want to blame themselves. But do you want to take that on? Because it's not easy. Yeah. I mean, I tell people it's not easy being what I do. I mean, but I've learned to accept who I am, and it's who I am. I can't let it go. So you got to decide if you want to let it go or if you actually want to say something about it. But it's not for everybody, that's for sure. And I if you want to do it, that's up to you. But if you don't, I'm telling you, man, don't.
So you're saying that Jasper?
Oh, he gets messages. No doubt. He's getting messages. They're not dreams, my friend. They are messages.
So Jasper has an ability similar.
Absolutely,
to
he does.
Wow.
He's had it for quite some time, haven't you, Jasper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know about it.
No.
Till now.
Right. So what? So you have to ask yourself: do you want people to know about it? Because if you don't, I mean, then don't.
Only certain people I tell that I trust.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how they're going to react.
Correct. That you just hit it on the button. Correct. How are they going to react? And when you tell everybody, then word gets around. I have lost a ton of friends. I have lost relationships with family members because when I tell them what I do, they say, you talk to demons, you talk to devils, you're a witch or something, or their religious background or their regular background doesn't agree with what you're talking about. Oh, it says in the Bible, Leviticus 19:31, don't talk to mediums because they talk to a spirit. That's demons and devils and stuff like that. No. It's just that's the people who want to tell you how to live the way they want you to live it and give them 10% at the same time. Religion. But yeah, if you put it out there, you're going to get a lot more back. So it's up to you to decide, can I handle all that or not? But it's up to you, brother.
Wow. Yeah, the other one that I know,
you don't just get regular messages either, too. You get some scary ones too. I mean, some like deadly messages, like not just one person dying, but like a bunch. So
yeah, sometimes that's the ones that usually bother me the most.
Yeah, I get them too. Do you know what I do? I don't say a frickin' thing.
Yeah, I try. Most time I let things play it out, the way it's showed to me.
Absolutely. Sometimes things just have to happen. They just do. I mean, there's instances when we can save somebody from maybe getting into a car accident or something like that, and I've done that as well. But I mean, I used to I got a message a long time ago. It showed me walking around in a really large, really large graveyard, meaning a whole bunch of people were going to die very soon. Did I tell anybody? Hell no.
And I would say, if we have time for it, the one main one was another big one for me is I feel that I have to deal with a lot of evil entities around me trying to attack me or somebody, mostly me, from the trauma that I've had to deal with in the past. Is there a possibility that I'm at war with that?
Let me take a look at you real quick. Okay, so when I when I look at anything that I look at, if I look at your walls are kind of white, but I also see blue in that as well. I just see blue in my regular vision. That's just energy is what I see. But I also do see a little bit of a mist of red around you, which is negative energy. The longer that you continue to wrestle yourself with that, the longer that's going to remain around. And the longer that remains around, that negative energy, you're basically inviting negative energies to come to you. Because this is what they feed off of. They feed off of negative energy. They feed off of fear. And someone who is, I mean, a lot of people have the same issues, and they feel it around them when they are drug addicts or alcoholics and stuff like that, because they themselves have chosen to remain this way. Because depression is one thing. Here's what depression is. You having some ill feelings about something, but you deciding to hold on to those feelings. The only person who can make those feelings go away is you. A doctor is not going to do one of two things. He's going to give you some medicine, which is going to suppress everything, but still keeps it inside of you, because he doesn't want to cure you, because, he can't make any money off of your cure. Or two, he's going to talk you out of it. But you know what you could do? You could talk yourself out of it. You could choose in the same way that if you were an alcoholic and I was your best friend, I'd say, hey, Jasper, I'll take you to meetings. I'll keep you away from drugs and alcohol. I'll take you away from all the bars and all that stuff. Although, who doesn't like a good strip club every now and then? But you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I would do everything I can do to keep you away from that stuff. But until you make the choice to stop drinking, no matter what I say or do, isn't going to make a difference. So the only person who's going to be able to do anything for you to keep these negative entities away from you is by you deciding that you're no longer going to wrestle over this. You're no longer going to have the fear of not being able to get away from this. So you have to make the decision to do that. I know there's a lot of stuff out there in my business. Unfortunately, they talk about, if you smudge and all that stuff, that'll make negative energies go away. That's a complete and total lie, because these entities, they don't have a body anymore. They don't have lungs, so they don't smell. They don't breathe. So the only thing you're going to do by burning that stuff is set off your freaking fire alarms. So as long as you put positive energy out there, as long as you put the good intent out there, and as long as you let go of these inner demons, as we call them, away from you and say, you know what, I don't need to feel this way anymore. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to let this stuff go from my life, and I'm going to enjoy my life because I want to. As long as you do that, they will go away, because it's like two magnets. They just can't hold the same space, So as long as you put positive energy out and try to be as positive as you can, being the person you are, let it go, man. It's my favorite 3 words. Let it go. It's not important. What's important is you going out and, helping people as much as you can and trying to enjoy your life, and then trying to keep happiness within you. But as long as you're going to fight within you, because basically the way that it is, you're not going to win the war within inside of you until you choose to stop fighting. So choose to stop fighting, let go of that war, and then clear your life out. When you do that, those things will go away. It's as simple as that, but I know it's not simple, because it takes time to do that, but Wake up in the morning, Jasper, every freaking day. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, because you're not going to lie to yourself, I'm a good person. I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to do good things, and I'm going to do good things for other people. And go out and keep doing that every single day. Get yourself into a regimen of that and then eventually that stuff will go away. And then you'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys, let me jump in real
But also
quick.
be good and don't do any stupid shit.
Jump in real quick. We're already over the hour, but Jasper, I can tell you, having met Daniel and knowing him for the last month or so, I can pretty much tell you if you want to, Daniel will talk to you and help you with
Damn right.
some of this stuff out, these abilities or whatever. If you want to explore it, I'll set you up with him, and you guys can talk off the air.
And you know what it's going to cost you, Jasper? Nothing.
Can't beat nothing.
No, because we got to help our people. That's why. We should all be able to help each other. So why not?
All right. Jasper, I'm going to let you go, buddy, but I'll be in touch with you, and I'll get you set up with Daniel. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, keep that awesome beard going, brother. Handsome son of a bitch.
All right. Daniel, I got one more thing for you before we get out of here. And like I said, we're already over the hour, but we're
Is
good.
it a check for $1 million? No, I don't give a shit.
We lost Lawrence. And I've been texting with Lawrence a little bit while you were talking to Jasper. Lawrence had one more question. He's not in a good place where he's not getting good service, so he wanted to know if I could ask you. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay. I'm good.
All right. Let me pull up this question here. And I know that Lawrence has been having some issues at his house with some spirits.
Yeah, man.
Dark...
He's in fear of these spirits too.
Yeah, he is. His question is, he said, I don't know how to ask it, but there's something evil in our house that makes Tracy, which is his wife, a bitch. What is it, and can we get rid of it? It's like she's fine outside of the house, but we get home and it's like a switch. And also, she stays sick in the house.
Yeah. 1 second. Because I got to make sure of what I'm getting. Okay. The entity that's bothering her, man, it's a tough one because it's a woman who's actually in the house, and the woman is someone, you ready for this, that hates men. And because it hates men, it's putting this energy on her. She already has fear of what is around her. And because she plays into that fear, then this thing is going to attach itself to her. And that's the unfortunate part, is sometimes we have entities who are around us, but sometimes they are attached to us. And this one is actually attached to her. Again, the only way that she can really change that is she hates. So the entity is going through her to this person, to the husband, but making her feel bad for continuing to be around her husband. But she's not someone who wants to leave her husband. So let me ask him something real quick. No. So I'm getting a no answer. So I was asking if it was okay that if she just moved, but that's not going to make a difference. The entity it's with her is going to follow her. Man. And it's a strong one too. It's coming through. The only way that she don't bother, please, and tell them don't bother with crosses, don't bother with holy water or saying prayers or anything like that. Crosses are forms of punishment, and that doesn't work. Holy water is water. That's all it is. Uh, the only way, the smudging again, smudging is not going to work because that's they don't smell, so that they're not breathing anything. It's not going to make them go away. The only way that they can truly make this change is they have to put the intent out there that they want this thing to go away, that it's not welcome in the house, but they have to say it in a way that's a positive way. You don't scream and yell. You don't holler at the thing. You don't call it a bunch of curse names and stuff like that, because, again, when you're doing that, you're still just putting more negative energy out there for it to feed on. They have to tell that this thing does not belong there. It's not wanted there. This is a family, a house full of love, and is not going to continue to put up with this mess. There's one thing that they can do that this thing is not going to like, which is I just told someone earlier today the same thing to do is they need to say this out loud at least 3 times in a row, and then just continuously do this through the house, letting them know that they're not putting up with that. And I always tell them to say out loud 3 times, my body, my soul belongs to Jesus Christ of Nazareth. My body, my soul belongs to Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Continue to say that every once in a while, and then this thing, because again, like I said, it's like 2 magnets. They can't hold the same space. It doesn't want to be around positivity. But as long as they play into the fear, then it's going to stick around. You can't fear it. No matter what it does, you can't fear it. Even if it comes up and scratches you, you can't fear it. You have to let go, and you have to take charge and say, you're not welcome here. This is our house. This is not your house. We don't know who you are, but we're not concerned with that. We just know that you're causing us problems. We don't want those problems. My husband and I love each other. My wife and I love each other. Our family loves each other. And this house is about love, and we don't want you in it. So go away, because you're not going to influence us. You're not going to bother us. You're not going to hurt us. You can still do whatever you want, but we're not going to be bothered with it. And the thing about that is when you put that type of message out, it's like having a singer and an audience. The singer's going to sing as long as you're going to stand there and listen to it. But if you don't acknowledge what it's doing, it's going to go away. That's the absolute only way that they can make this thing go away.
I think that's great advice. And he is watching, and we'll go back and watch it later. So he'll get that message. Before we get out of here, Daniel, tell everybody where they can find you, and tell them about your book and where they can get it and all that good stuff.
Sure. They can find me at www.spiritmediumdaniel.com. And if they want to book a reading with me, or if they themselves believe that they have this ability, like Jasper, they can contact me, and I will let them know if they actually do have something like he does. And so they can book a reading there, or they can watch my podcast. It's called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, and we do all these supernatural and metaphysical stuff. And but they can find that at www.beyond-the-veil.com. Or they can order my book if they want to. It's on Amazon. Just go on Amazon and look for Daniel Jackson, The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. Just put that into the bar and punch on that, and you can either get it as an ebook, or you can get as a hard copy. Or if they want a signed copy, they can go on my Spirit Medium Daniel page or the Beyond the Veil page as well, and they could order one there, and I'll sign it for them. I'll look at it, I'll get a message, I'll write it down and personalize it for them and send it to them.
And I meant to have mine in here with me, but Mr. Daniel there sent me a complimentary book with his signature in it with a little message, and I appreciate that. That was very, very cool of him. I've been reading it a little bit, and I appreciate that. But all those links there, Daniel, I believe I've got them in the show notes, and if they are not, I'll make sure I put them there for you.
Okay, no problem. Cool beans.
All right, buddy. Again, thank you for taking the time to come and hang out with me.
You're welcome.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, I enjoyed myself. I hope everyone got the answers that they needed.
Thanks, buddy. And we'll stay in touch. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Be good. Don't do any stupid stuff.
Hey, and whatever this thing is beside me, find something out about it. Let me know.
I will, because it's still there.
Damn. All
I
right,
don't know
buddy.
what's
Have a
going
good
on,
night.
man. That's crazy. I don't ever see that with people, ever.
I don't know, man. You got me worried. Have a good night.
Oh, nothing to be worried about. You over here.
See you, bud.
Say, man.
All right, guys. That is another one down. Let me know what y'all think about that. Shoot me an email. Wayne at paranormalworldproductions.com. There it is. Yeah, any of the shows, guys. If y'all have any feedback, you're more than welcome to comment them in the comments. I'm always grateful for that and love getting emails from you guys. So shoot me an email, even if it's just to say, hey, I'm doing a good job, doing a terrible job, you're ugly, get a new hat, change the background, anything. Just shoot me an email and let me know. All right, guys, another one done. I appreciate your continued support. Thank you so very much for all that you guys do. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.